Hey guys, what's up? My name is Art, and this is another video. There's many in everybody's lives. There's many facets to their well-being, makeup, and their being. I shared a lot about myself online. One, that I was a drunk driver. Two, I was on probation. Three, I have depression and anxiety, mental health. Now I'm going to talk to you about physical health. Now what that means is that one, I'm a diabetic. Now what does that mean? That means my pancreas cannot handle blood sugar like it's supposed to, or blood glucose. Either one, it doesn't produce enough, or it does not, or it produces too much, and my body can't process it right. So that's what we call diabetic or diabetes. Some people are in what they call pre-diabetic mode, where they could either change their behavior and go left or right. Doesn't matter. In most circles, once you're diabetic, you're a diabetic. In some situations, diabetes can be reversed. One thing is, it is genetic to a certain extent, and sometimes it can be caused on by other things. For example, women, while pregnant, can develop diabetes when they're pregnant, and then once they pop the baby out, it goes away. But I'm not a woman and I'm not pregnant, so it's here to stay. A lot of people say, well, if you eat right, people say, I got it because of my diet. It's this. It's basically genetic for me. Both sides of my family have it. Mom's side, dad's side. Diabetes run through all of it. Usually, they're usually diagnosed around 50 years old. I got diagnosed in my mid 30s, right after my first DUI. And I've been dealing with this for like the last 10, at least 10 years. Some of those years was good, where I kept on it and everything else, and guess what? There was no change. I have gained weight, I have lost weight, still have it. Sometimes when I get frustrated and I stop. I stop taking care of myself. My health gets worse. Then when I realize it got worse, I get back on the grind and it's back to normal again. But anyway, one of the things about how I got it is hereditary. What happened was that I just, it's in the beginning stages of my probation, and during that time I was drinking. Before I was drinking every week, twice, 2, 3 times a week. No big deal, right? My doctor kind of suggested that my drinking kind of kept it at bay. I could have been diagnosed a lot earlier, but if it wasn't for the drinking, raising it and then dropping it, because what happens to when you drink alcohol, your blood glucose goes higher and then it drops. But what happened is that, for example, there's a guideline they use, which is called the A1C, which is your average blood glucose level for a 3 to 4 month period. Pretty soon I will be doing that again. But basically, I was wandering about and I was at work and I was thirsty. I was thirsty. I could not understand the thirst I had. I couldn't understand it. It was like I'll drink water. I was drinking water, and I was peeing it all out. And I was like, man, what is going on here? Always thirsty. I drink a pop, I'm fine. Thirsty. I get a Slurpee, fine. Or ice frozen. Anything that had sugar, it didn't dawn on me that if I had sugar, everything was okay. Other than that, I felt run down. I felt sick. I felt like I was sick, run down, like I had the flu. And this is like, summerish, like spring summerish kind of thing. And I was like, oh man, this sucks. So one day I decided to screw this. I'm gonna go to the doctor. Went to my doctor. Told him this everything. She did. She just pricked my finger with a meter device. My blood glucose was 300. She goes, "You're diabetic." There you go. And I was like, "What?" whoa, whoa, whoa. I was shocked. I was like, that's not supposed to happen until like another 15 to 20 years. Not now. And she goes, you're diabetic. What you gonna do? Like, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Then when she realized that the initial shock was over, my brain went into overdrive. Okay, what can I do to get off of this stuff? My doctor is like, well, technically you got it for life. But there has been cases where people have it reversed. Whether that happened for you or not, probably may or may not happen. First thing is lose weight. Okay? Lose weight, eat right, and all this other stuff. And what happens, then she set me up for a dietitian. I took classes on this. I took classes. And the rest is history. Now, here's the thing. The signs of, when my blood glucose gets too low, I get irritable. I have shaking. I'll be shaking. Now, I don't physically shake, but I have that shaking feeling, like, oh, like feeding for, like a fiend. Like, oh my God, and I'm irritable. My blood glucose gets too high. Sometimes I go lethargic. It feels like I'm drunk. Doesn't matter. Sometimes my blood glucose be high and I'll be feeling fine like I am right now. And sometimes it could be low and I'll be feeling fine. It all depends how it affects you. So what happens is lately my doctors says I had to go to a specialist going endocrinologist. They say I got to test my blood glucose 3 times a day. A lot of times I do, a lot of times I don't. Wake up when I do it, usually when I straight come home, then later on at night. Also, they also gave me this is insulin. As you can see, it's a liquid and all this other stuff. I'm supposed to take it before bedtime. A lot of times I do take it. A lot of times I forget because if I fall asleep, like for example after dinner, if I fall asleep and I wake up like 11, 12 o'clock, I'm going straight to bed, forgetting about taking it. See these big horse ass pills? This is metformin. These are like 1,000 milligrams. I had to take 2 of these a day. Yes, that's a 90-day supply. Well, this right here is a 90-day supply. Actually, and that was pretty cheap because it's a generic. This is Januvia. This is the most expensive medication I have, like 80 to 100 bucks. 100 milligrams, and I have a 3-month supply of this. So what happens, I keep one of these at work and one of these at home. Sorry. 2 of these at home. And what happens is, like, I take this one when I first wake up before I eat breakfast. Then around about after lunchtime or something like that, or in the middle of the afternoon, I take one of these. Then later on at night, preferably before dinner or sometime after dinner, I'll take another one. That's my routine. Pills. I have other things to take, but I don't have that much problem, like cholesterol and all those other stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test my blood glucose right now. Test strips. I get these things. You could buy these. Now, fun things, you could buy like a month's supply of these at any drugstore for about 30 bucks. The meter will cost you about like 80 to 100, or sometimes up to 50, depending upon where it is. Because I have health insurance, decent health insurance through my job, I can get these. They can mail me a 3-month supply in the mail, so I don't have to go out every month. This is my Lancet. I might have to change Lancet pretty soon because sometimes this is ineffective. And this is the actual. This is the Lancet device. This is the actual Lancet. Twist this off like this. Slap this on like so. See that? Screw that back on like that. Now I had to do this like 3 times a day. One of the things is that you should be drinking a lot of water. If you're dehydrated and you take one of this thing will hurt like the dickens. I usually test it on my fingers. There's alternative sites you can test, like in your thighs or your elbow. I'm like, oh. I take it on the fingers, like so. Just a little prick. Unlike me being a big prick. Good joke. I went out of order. Put one of these. Oh, that's two.
Your prodigy meter is on. Please wait. Please apply blood into the test strip.
This thing talks now. The old one didn't talk. This one talks.
Testing.
Thing is, I didn't show you the blood, so some people might be squeamish.
Blood glucose 136 milligrams per deciliter.
So even I could test it when I'm half asleep, and I know exactly what my blood goes. And then what happens? I record it in this little book right here. I buy a good planner, decent planner, like $5-6, and I record like every day. Some days there's one entry because I forgot to test it at night because I fell asleep. Sometimes if I eat something like usually like the weekends, it's
Goodbye.
fast food nights. I eat fast food every day, that's true. But then again, here's the thing. A lot of people say, well, if you stop eating fast food, you wouldn't have to do this, right? I tried that once. Didn't work. Still on it. I just have to be vigilant. All this fits in this nice little case right here, so I can take it on the go. Now, what happens is blood. I have a nice little coffee mate container. Looking right here. Now, what happened is my mom. See, this like I said, this is hereditary. This is my mom takes this stuff. And that's for a week. So what happens? She's been storing it into this thing because it's huge. And normally, if it wasn't for that, it would take me like months before I fill one of these things up. But with her things, it fills up pretty quick. Because she has to take her insulin once a week. Mine is every night. But that way I can dispose it. What happens is I wrap it up. As soon as it's full, I close it up. Lift cap. Duct tape it around. And I can throw it in the trash. Simple as that. Now, like I said, this is just a basics of what I do on a daily basis. Sometimes it is tedious. Sometimes I wake up in the morning ready for work and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like doing this shit. And I'm out the door. And some days I'm like, oh, I gotta do this. Some days. Not every day, but some days. But this is what I have to do on a daily basis. Daily basis. Yes, there are some things that you can, like apps that you can use that you can record your stuff. Supposedly there's a USB thing you can hook up to it and could load it up on your computer. I haven't tried that yet. Want to try that. Makes it easier to monitor all this stuff. So I can say, here you go. There you go. But this is basically a lot of things what I do on a daily basis. Like I said, I do this every day. And sometimes it is annoying as all hell, especially if you're out and about and you got a lot of stuff to do. Like let's say for example, I get off of work and I want to hit AA up a bit. I go to AA. After work, go to AA for a hot second, then come home. First thing I'm thinking of is eating, not testing. Sometimes I say, oh, let me test before I eat, and sometimes, oh God, let me do it later. Sometimes. But like I said, I always can do better with this. So, this, like I said, I always try to make these videos less than between 10 to 15 minutes. That way you keep your attention span up. It's almost 15 minutes now, so it's going to go over that. But this is one of those kind of things where I can talk about for hours on end. But just let me know, this is what it is. Let me know. No one, Don't feel sorry. Sounds like rain. Don't feel sorry. Like I said, I had this for the rest of my life. It's just a fact of life. Okay, no big deal. Okay, so like I said, don't feel sorry for her about it. I learned what I can do and what I can't do. This is one of those kind of things where I have to live with it. Even if, say for example, if there was a way for me to reverse this and it works, I would do it. But the problem is doing that is the hard part. It's always easy. You know, they say, okay, you gotta lose weight. Well, I weigh about two. When I first started, I was like 250. I went down to 200. It didn't help. It didn't. It still stayed. So that means there's other things involved. But anyway, my diet is gonna be kind of. I gotta trim up on the diet a little bit, but it's kind of hard to do it these days. Well, this is as much as I want to talk about this because sometimes it gets depressing, and having depression and talking about this sometimes it's not a good combination. So with that, I'm gonna go. Leave me some comments if you want. You know, I'll respond. Whether it's good or bad, no big deal. Okay? Talk to you later.